Hello everybody. If you're looking for Mr. Fontana's Algebra 2 class here on Open House, you're in the right spot, but I am not. My name is TJ Fontana, and that means that I am your son or daughter's teacher this year for Algebra 2. I'm not able to be at DHS this evening. I'll explain more about that in just a moment, but just wanted to record a hopefully short video just thanking you guys for coming in, welcoming you, as it were, to class, and just kind of letting you know a few things that would be beneficial, I think, for all of us to air out at the beginning of the year. It is my 23rd year teaching math here at DeKalb High School, and I've taught Algebra 2 on and off throughout most of that time right there, and I'm happy to be back in there this year. I had quite a few of these students last year in geometry, so it's nice to see some of the same faces again for the second year in a row now, and also nice to meet a lot of new kids this year. And it looks like I've got three very nice classes and good sections here this year. As you probably have heard already, my family is dealing with a medical situation that is making it so that this year I'm only going to be able to be in school about half the time. I'm working mornings one day and then afternoons the following day, and then flip-flopping back and forth as that were. However, on the days when I am not going to be here at DeKalb High School, Jay Smith, who is a retired physics teacher from DHS, and in fact was my physics teacher in high school a long time ago. Mr. Smith has agreed to sub for me then on the days when I'm not going to be there, just about all of the days then I will not be there moving forward right here. So what that means then is that pretty much every day the students are going to have either myself live in class or Mr. Smith. And Mr. Smith was also math certified in addition to teaching physics, so he's more than qualified to teach the kids and help them out with any questions that they would have when I'm not there. So it's certainly a little inconsistent, apologize for that, but with the communication system that I'll explain here in a minute, I think the kids are going to do okay, and maybe most importantly, I think they will know what's expected of them, and we'll try to keep a consistent system in place for them to help them succeed here this year. A couple things I just wanted to make everybody aware of here. I will be using Google Classroom and not Canvas for this class this year. With my situation in and out a lot, I spoke with administration about that, and they gave me their blessing to go ahead and do that. So we'll be using Classroom to communicate class information in addition to saying these things in class, but unlike a lot of their other classes, we're not going to be using Canvas or Classroom in terms of submitting assignments. We're still going to do everything on paper and pencil here in this class, and that applies to homework, that applies to taking notes, and that applies most importantly, I think, to quizzes and tests. So kids need to have those supplies with them at all times, but they'll be turning things in that way, and I think that'll work a little bit better for us. One thing that I will be using Classroom for, though, is to push out a Google Doc, which is their homework sheet that they'll have for each chapter. Let me see if I can pull one up right here. Let's take a look. There we go. This would be an example of one of their homework sheets. This is the one we're on right now for Chapter 2. And so you can kind of see that this is pretty simple right here. It just lays out for them what sections we're going to be covering in each chapter, what order we're going to be doing them in. And in that second column where it says resources, there are links there for blank notes, meaning that if the student would like to, they can print those out at home ahead of time and then bring them with to class, and that might help them in their note-taking, but most kids kind of prefer just to do it all from scratch on a blank sheet of paper. And underneath the blank notes in the resources column, there will be a video posted with the notes for every single section that we're going to do here throughout the year. You'll notice I have, the first 4 sections done. I haven't gotten to 2.7 or 2.8 just yet. Then the homework assignments, all of those will be handed out to the kids on paper, but I also link them here on this homework doc, so if they ever were to lose one, they could just click on it right here and turn it in that way. And then due dates will be communicated over there in that right-hand column. So as I said, hopefully the kids will know what's expected of them and when it is that they have to get things turned in by, either to myself or Mr. Smith, whoever happens to be in class that day. We are going to try to keep up then a normal pacing schedule, which means the kids are going to have homework I wouldn't say every night, but probably pretty close to it. I kind of let the kids self-pace at this level, and especially with the videos all being posted there, they really can go through it at their own pace as long as they're getting everything done by the deadlines listed on the homework sheet for when we have quizzes and tests coming up. So they really need to keep an eye on that. Speaking of homework, it is incredibly important, really in every math class, but especially in a tough course like Algebra 2, which we consider kind of the gateway to higher levels of math. It is really important that students do their homework, they keep up on it in a timely manner and don't let it all pile up. And not just that they're doing the homework quickly and getting it done as fast as they can, but that they're actually checking their work, making sure that they got the right answers, and really trying to understand what's being asked of them in those assignments. And if they don't, that's when they need to be willing to raise their hand in class and ask questions either of myself or Mr. Smith, and we'll make sure that they understand that there as well. But it is extremely difficult, if not impossible, for a student to do well in a tough course like Algebra 2 if they're not keeping up on their homework on a regular basis. So we really need to stress that. Going along with that, of course, good note-taking is an essential skill, and they are going to need to study for quizzes and tests. Just doing homework really isn't enough. So we want to make sure that before every quiz or test, they're spending a decent amount of time looking through their notes, making sure that they know what's going on in terms of vocabulary and the types of questions that they might be asked, and they need to make sure that they know how to do the types of problems that were presented in their notes and then also in their homework assignments as well. We're not going to throw weird things at them on quizzes and tests that they have never seen before, so it's important that they keep up with everything that's assigned to them, and if they can do that, they should be in pretty good shape. If you have any questions, or your students at any point during the year, email is probably the best way to get in touch with me, and my address is simply tfontana@d428.org. They can also get in touch with me through Classroom, and if you have anything at all that comes up that's on